Hey guys, it's Gauntlet. Today, I figured I would just show off what I've done so far with Mercenaries. I just updated yesterday, obviously, and got GRM up to 3.0, so that's compatible. And I talked a little bit about how I was modding Mercenaries. I've kind of released the first real pack, though, for Mercenaries today. It adds 20 Mercenaries to the pile. It doesn't replace any of the mercenaries, but they're basically carbon copies of the existing ones. I consider it in beta, but it's fun and there's no bugs as far as I can tell. Everything works. So yeah, by all means, download that and give it a whirl. So for you to see, if we go to the bazaar here, yeah, you can see a bunch here right already, about 6 of them. I got lucky on the draw. They are about twice as likely to show up as regulars, so that's important to note. But for example, the Star Lab here is actually the same as Star Lab 82. I know it wasn't very creative on this one right here, but you know, as you can see below, it's a different model and everything. So yeah, different models, different ships for these. Some of these are repeats from existing GRM stuff. Some of these are brand new, and some of these are kind of like different takes on existing designs or retrofits of them. So yeah, having fun with this. You know, got a whole bunch here, and let's see what else. You know, got another one here, another one. You know, slowly but surely going through the list, adding a whole bunch. So with that, I kind of want to just show you guys a little more up close. This is actually one of them. I have a prospector guy who uses this ship, which is kind of cool. But you've probably seen that. And I'm sorry, this is going to be a little hard to go through because I have to kind of show you, like, I have to have all the designs visible here. So I kind of got to eyeball it. Nope, nope, nope. Do I not have a small? I probably don't have any smalls yet. It's mostly been cargos and mediums, actually. Or none. Or there will be none to show off. Oh, they're not users. Oh, that's annoying. They're not Actually, that might help. Okay. Alrighty. Because of the way the file structure works, they have to be in the core game. So there we go. Oh, that's actually more convenient. There we go. So this is the first of the mediums. It's actually like meant to be a small ship, but the mercenary in question found a very large weapon system, alien weapon system, and attached it to her ship. So you've got this big, you know, ornate piece of equipment here, kind of throwing off the whole flight angle of their mercenary ship, and they've got it attached right on the side. Had a little fun doing tubing too. So, you know, a little fuel tube or whatever going in there. So yeah, I like this one. It was one of my first ones I've done so far, and I'm pretty happy with it. These are a lot of fun to make. Then we have this. Now, first of all, this dish is actually not that big. I don't know why, but it scales up in the editor. But when you actually just look at it, when building it, it's much, much smaller and reasonable. Everything else is scaled right, though. So this, I took one of my pirate faction's main destroyer class, took out the sort of jigsaw turrets it usually carries, gave it drones, a big missile pod here, some alternate turrets all over, like one of these really big ones here, and then a bunch of salvage stuff, and you can see that it's got an armature system and some of the drones are working. So this is a survey ship that actually earns credits whenever you whenever you search an anomaly. So yeah, it's definitely a really cool, like, sort of salvage ship. I'm really happy with how this one came out. Then we've got this is a Vagar destroyer that has been just heavily modified and much more heavily armed. It's basically a copy of the Wraith mercenary, so it repairs itself very quickly, and it has a ton of prototype mass drivers. So this is a very, very dangerous medium ship. It's a T3. Um, I'm kind of debating whether or not I should make all the mercenaries just a lot better and more expensive, um, so that they're actually like good in comparable to sort of your, sort of standard user designs. One thing I noticed is that they are a little slow. They're only two engines for the most part, if you're lucky. Which I know some people stick to two engines, some people put three. So the Mercs don't have to really follow the rules, so you can go over capacity. So I think I'm just going to put three engines on them standard, and that should fix anybody's issues with using them. So that's just a thought. But yeah, I'm happy with how this came out. So then we have some brand new ones. This puppy is also a kinetic ship. And this is my attempt to mix some of the new parts with some of the old parts, which for the most part, came out okay. Some stuff I was not happy with, but overall, worked out pretty well. I think it's a pretty nifty ship. Would I make a whole ship set like this? No, no, I wouldn't. But it was fun to play around, and that's the great thing about Mercs for me is like I can just kind of toy around. I don't have to perfect it necessarily. But I'm pretty happy with some of the effects here. This thing is cool. I like the little command deck and sunk in some pieces to kind of give it unify the textures a little bit more. That's my biggest problem. This gray on this Terran piece is just different than this right here, or that right there, and it's got a different sheen or something, and that kind of bothers me, but oh well. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this guy. Very fast, kinetic, medium hull. Then we've got, oh yeah, this thing. Yeah, really experimented with these two pieces here. Use the Karani missile pods. I'm kind of being lazy about these because there's so many mercenaries, and I think I have to make at least 72 if I want to do a full replacement. So yeah, that's a lot. So we'll see. But yeah, I really like how the engine format came out. These are from the Ronar set, or the Toth now, I'm calling them. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with this ship. In this case, this is actually, in my little backstory, this is completely automated ship. It's a big missile cruiser, and there's no living crew on board. Alright, and then we have this guy, a very big fuel depot ship, so to speak. It does have one drone, just for sort of maintenance. Larger radar dish, bunch of fuel tanks, maybe some elevators or whatever you want to think of those as. It is armed. It's actually a medium hull, so it does have a missile pod and a small kinetic cannon at the front, just maybe for point defense. So yeah, pretty happy with it. So yeah, those are the mediums. Those are pretty cool. And then for larges, we only have one or two larges so far. This is a Orion Star Republic ship that's been heavily modified because it's actually, they borrowed their designs from the Terran Republic. And here, let me show you. Those parts are actually invisible, so you won't see it. It's not as heavily armored as, the Orion Star Republic because it's actually an older ship. It's been taken over. The crew has kind of gone rogue, and so they're badasses. They got a skull and crossbone there, so to speak. They've attached two really big laser systems, and they've had to completely redo the engine block. So yeah, pretty happy with this guy. Oh, and a giant cannon. That's actually not that big either. Again, the editor scales up certain parts when it shouldn't. It won't actually be quite that large. And then let's see here. Yep, that's it for the larges. And the huges. Haven't made one for them yet, or at least not a unique ship hull for them yet. Cargoes. So this is a science station that is basically a Zirhan science station that's been heavily modified. It's got human uh, docking and sort of crew quarters and stuff. So there's a human scientist who bought this and has retrofitted it. So he's also got a drone pod and slightly different radar dish there. So this is my sort of mad scientist laboratory. Pretty happy with it. And we've got this. Okay, again, the editor scaling bug is really annoying. These are actually quite small and arrayed, and each one of these platforms has like 4 of them. Pretty basic design, but it does have some fun bits like the big tubes there, and yeah, I like it. It's good. This is actually a fully automated drone base that helps military production for a shipyard, which is fun. So those are 2. There should be a couple more here. Yep. This is my design for a super constructor that you can buy as a mercenary. So this will actually build a starbase with 5 modules, which is cool. And one of my sort of vendors I've come up with is Automata Incorporated. So they only sell ships that are completely automated, which this is going to be one of them. And that medium hull I was talking about, they did that as well. So yeah. Then we've got this guy. And this guy is definitely my favorite ship so far that I've made for Mercs. A lot of what I've been doing is sort of taking old designs and tweaking them. I'm straight up using some of the more obscure designs, like a lot of the stations don't get any use in actual gameplay. The AI doesn't use them. And a lot of the mercenaries are really just meant to park on a planet. So I'm using the stations quite a bit for them. But this was fun. This is the mercenary transport you can buy. So I came up with a whole sort of new race and a story, and basically this race, nobody knows who they are. They come out of nowhere with a transport ship, and they will invade someone for money with this one transport ship. And the idea is basically they're all a bunch of warriors who've been dishonored, and they need to regain their honor by dying gloriously in battle, or something like that. So the ship itself is, neat, and I was playing around with lots of the new parts. But the cool part, really, is these. I made these little, I call them war mites, but they're great. I just think they came out great. The double tubes over there are really nice. The shell format came out just the way I wanted to. I mean, this is a great part set for doing these sorts of things. Now, on the one hand, it's kind of ridiculous to think of this as a transport ship that carries, 1 million people. I get it. We all get it. There's a realism problem there. And normally I don't do like tanks. I usually do giant asteroids or something like that. But in this case, I'm literally thinking these guys drive around in giant mech machines of doom and they're just really, really good at blowing shit up. So they're feared across the galaxy for that reason or something. It was just fun, and yeah, it's about as silly as I get with my GRM ships. Yeah, I just love these things. So that was a lot of fun. That's what I've spent the most work on in terms of a unique design so far. I also took one of the Fulgar star bases and modified that a bit, added a couple extra towers, some extra dishes, an extra rock, and a parked Minzari ship just for the hell of it, and using this as one of the production increasing stations so that you can get through Mercs. So that's good. I like it. So yeah, having lots of fun. As you can see, I've made a few completely new designs. It's just great. I love this thing. I'll be making a lot more new designs, but I wanted to get a pack out. So 20 mercenaries are now available. And let me know what you think if you download it. I'm also having a lot of fun picking out, pictures. Gives them a lot more character and coming up with backstories. And yeah, some of them are really short. Some of them are more extensive. So I'll be working on that too. Any feedback is always appreciated. All right. Oh yeah, see, Zrentag, huge hull. All right, so thanks very much.